Hey everyone, this is me, Time Liar G, and welcome back to the Sonic Adventure Iceberg. This is part 2, and gonna be the final part as well because, I cut the other one short last time. That was only like 13 minutes, so I apologize about that. My life has just been very busy lately, so... anyway, I'm just gonna be getting right into the iceberg here, with no delays. Gonna stop talking. I'm actually wondering where this guy got some of these topics for this iceberg because some of them are just like really far out there. Like this one just says Sally Acorn playable or playable Sally Acorn. I don't know where this guy heard this from, but this was never a thing. There was a Genesis game that was going to feature comic characters in it, but no, this is most certainly not in Sonic Adventure. That would be pretty interesting if she was, though. Wonder what her stages would play like. Alright, so this one that I'm adding on here, this wasn't part of the original iceberg or anything, but there's this unused level called Mushroom in the game files, and nobody really knows what that was supposed to be, if that's already in the game. That could have been something like Mystic Ruins, if that's not already part of the list. But yeah, there's this unused level called Mushroom, and the only thing I can think of is Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Mushroom Hill Zone, but... yeah, I don't know, I find it pretty weird how there's no mushroom level in there, yet it says that there is in the game files, as if it was cut or something. It most likely is, I would say, like Mystic Ruins, or maybe like the forest area, or something like that. Even though there's no mushrooms, there is no mushrooms in Sonic Adventure, so I could be wrong there. Maybe they did plan for like a giant, Sonic 3 and Knuckles type level. And something to go along with that is that, you have Ice Cap, and you got Angel Island and everything. So maybe there was going to be a planned third stage from Sonic 3 in there. Never know, it's possible, but I found this one pretty interesting, more so than the other ones. Pretty interesting stuff. But yeah, seeing as like Ice Cap is in there and everything, you maybe there was going to be another Sonic 3 and Knuckles level. Alright, so there's two of them right here. One of them says Chaos Red Tentacles, which Chaos does not have red tentacles, I'm fairly certain. I have no idea what this is talking about. If you guys know what this means, then tell me in the comments, but yeah, this one just says Chaos Red Tentacles, and the second one says Untextured Chow, which I've never heard of a glitch in the game or bug where your chows become untextured. I'm not sure on that one. And normally I'm pretty up to date with unused content for Sonic Adventure. Like I'm obsessed with this game. And I've never heard anything about these two topics. So if you guys know anything about these two topics, then tell me. Can't answer this one, sorry. This one is pretty interesting as well. This is called Tails Battle, and what this is referring to is that there's an unused fight with Tails in the game. Mentioned only by text, if I recall. I don't think there's any actual implementation of it. But if I had to take a guess here, I'd say that you'd be fighting Tails as Knuckles, just like how you fight Knuckles as Tails, it'd just be the opposite. That's the only theory I can come up with here, but maybe as Gamma as well? Maybe you could be fighting Tails as Gamma. It's a possibility. I don't know. Or maybe it's going to be something else entirely. Maybe they had plans to do something else. I don't know. Alright, this one actually made me laugh before I started recording. This is... it just says Eggman created Knuckles, which I'm fairly certain he didn't, but you never know. I don't know where this guy got this idea from, that Eggman created Knuckles. I'd like to know the story behind this one. And I don't have any theories to go along with this. I'm pretty sure Knuckles has always survived on Angel Island, which I'm also questioning if Knuckles' tribe died entirely, like there was no more Knuckles' tribe, how was he born? And maybe that's where he got this idea from. Untitled Motorcycle Game. This is referring to the image that was leaked before Sonic Adventure's release. Or maybe not leaked, but just revealed basically. Either at an event or, Sega was just releasing photos of upcoming games. There was one that looked like a motorcycle game because of how grainy the picture was. You couldn't even tell what it was. All you could see was a highway, which was Speed Highway. And you could barely even see Sonic. I think Sonic was what was mistaken for a motorcycle. You have to believe me when I say this image was so scaled down and low quality and grainy and everything that you can't even see what's going on. So people just thought it was a motorcycle game at first, which it wasn't. It turned out to be Sonic Adventure afterwards. But yeah, in the background was just Speed Highway, and you could barely make out Sonic, but he was in the image kind of. Yeah, I guess if you would just see Speed Highway on its own without knowing about Sonic Adventure, I guess you would think it was a racing game or some shit. Besides like the loops and the bumpers and all the other Sonic, like none of that was in that image. It was strictly just the road and like the guardrails on the side of the road and just stuff like that. So yeah, people thought that Sonic Adventure was a motorcycle game before it came out because of that one leaked image. Or Rouge cameo. So she does not have a cameo in this game, and neither does Shadow. I think we talked about this on the last part, where it says like Shadow the Hedgehog reference, which there's no references to future characters in this game, except for Cream that appears in the DX version. Obviously, since Cream wasn't created before Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, or during it, she does appear above the casino flying around after you leave on the DX version on the GameCube and PC, but yeah, there is no Rouge reference and there is no Shadow reference, and I believe that to disprove this, I could just talk about the concept art that was created for Shadow before, or that was revealed way after Sonic Adventure 2's release. So yeah, he was not created before Sonic Adventure 2. Secret emblems, so this is talking about the ones, at least I think it's talking about the ones that are hidden around the overworld, because that's the only thing I can think of is just the ones that you collect on the overworld without actually entering the levels or anything. You know, you can find some in Mystic Ruins, you can find some on the Egg Carrier, basically just everywhere, like inside the burger shop at Station Square, you can find them all over the place. And in the DX version, you can unlock Metal Sonic if you collect every single emblem in the game, including the ones for finishing stages, raising Chao, and stuff like that. But besides that, I don't know if it's talking about something else, if there's hidden emblems that weren't used in the game. I've never heard about something like that, so I'm just assuming that it's talking about the ones in the overworld that you can collect. But something weird that I want to point out is that the emblems don't actually do anything in Sonic Adventure 1 for the Dreamcast. On the DX version it does. You unlock minigames and, you know, basically just emulated Game Gear games as like a reward, and Metal Sonic, like I said. But for the regular Dreamcast version, for the first version of Sonic Adventure, emblems do not do anything. They literally are useless. Super Sonic is behind the train station. Now, is this trying to tell me that in the boss fight with Chaos that you fight behind the train station, or is this just this guy fucking trolling around a little bit and just saying that you can unlock Super Sonic behind a train station? I don't know. I don't know what this one's referring to. I'm pretty sure this one's just a joke. But yeah, he's just saying that you can find Super Sonic behind the train station. Now, this raises the question, which train station? The Mystic Ruins train station? The Station Square train station? You know, I don't know what this guy's talking about. This one sounds pretty intriguing. It says secret rooms, and you know, there's really not many secret rooms in Sonic Adventure, if any at all. I guess the one room where there's like a hidden elevator where you find Gamma's upgrade, like the triple shot, I guess that would be considered a secret room. Like, there's this elevator you can go up. I don't know if I can get footage of this. I guess I could just start up Sonic Adventure and not be lazy about it, but yeah, there's this elevator you can go up, and it doesn't take you anywhere. It just brings you to a second level, and there's really nothing up there. And when I say level, I mean like, you know, the height of the floor. There's really nothing up there to do. There's not any really secrets hidden up there. It's just a room. And maybe there's a secret room in Final Egg, because I have a feeling like there's a few secret rooms in there, but it's really nothing noteworthy. In Casinoopolis, I know of one. There's this long passageway that takes like 2 minutes to get through, and there's just a few upgrades back there. Or power-ups, rather. Sorry, not upgrades. Those are completely different things, but... Hotel puzzle. There used to be a puzzle in the hotel. That's that's it. No, but really, there's like these two switches that you would bring. It's kind of like Sonic Adventure 2 stuff. You know, you can pick up items and like throw them around and stuff. There used to be these two pressure plate looking things, or like things to put keys into. And you pretty much pick up these keys, which were like cubes, and you put them in their proper places inside the lobby area with the two elevators. And it would open the door to, you know, the pool area. So, pretty sure that's what this one is talking about. If not, sorry, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's talking about. Chao grew up slower when raised by Amy. There is no such thing in the game that suggests this, and like that's just not a thing. I don't know where this guy heard this from. Maybe it's like, you know, a playground rumor or something, but it's not one that I've heard of. It would be kind of weird too. Why would Trows grow up slower if they're raised by Amy? I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to be labeling this one, but this is another one of mine that I'm just going to be talking about. So something that always weirded me out is that one character that you see in certain cutscenes, but he's never actually in the game that you can find or talk to. So at the end of Amy's story, you can see this mysterious man walking down a sidewalk, and he's kind of, if I recall, he's kind of like looking back at the camera, and there's no explanation on who he is or like what he would have said in the game if he was planned to be an NPC. But yeah, this guy doesn't actually appear in the actual game itself, and you can't talk to him. He's only in cutscenes. He is a very mysterious figure. It's kind of creepy, actually. He's just kind of walking down the sidewalk at the end of Amy's story for no reason. I mean, I could understand if they need a background character, but it's just kind of weird that it's him so like prominently in that cutscene in the image screenshot for the final. Very weird, very bizarre. Robot cryotubes. So these are the cryotubes right outside of Final Egg, and I was always really intrigued by these. Like, I don't really know why Metal Sonic is inside of one of them, and why Robotnik didn't like really release him during the events of Sonic Adventure, but you know, he definitely got his time in Heroes, but that's kind of irrelevant. You got Gamma. One of them contains Gamma at the start of his story, and then you have this nameless, you know, weird-looking Sonic robot with guns for hands. Just basically a Sonic clone. It looks like it could be the one from Sonic 2, but, and I mean the Genesis version as well, not the Game Gear Sonic 2, which that had a different kind of robot Sonic. It doesn't look anything like this, but the one in Sonic 2 didn't look like this one either, because this one has like an orange visor. This one has an orange visor and guns for hands. Really, really neat looking. I wish we could have saw this in a game or something. I wish they would actually use this in the future, but yeah. So there's not really any mystery here, to be honest. I guess the Silver Sonic, which, that's its name in the comics, by the way, because this copy of Sonic did show up in the comics, but it's not canon, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, this robotic version of Sonic right here showed up in the comics, and if I recall, I think it was sent to defend Station Square. Like, it was basically hijacked from Robotnik, and then, you know, someone reprogrammed it to defend Station Square and stuff. Not too much mystery, other than, you know, what was Robotnik going to use this for, and really, like, what was it made for? It should have showed up. It really should have. Maybe in, like, Sonic Adventure 2's multiplayer mode they could have put it in instead of just, like, Metal Sonic, but yeah. I always found that weird how it's kind of just sitting there, not being used in the series at all. I have a feeling like there's cut content related to that. There most likely is, I'd assume, which is kind of sad. Well, that's going to be the end of the video, so I just want to say thanks for watching, and also, I did have other stuff to talk about. We completely covered the entire iceberg, so there's nothing left there. But I do have a lot of stuff to mention about Sonic Adventure and like mysteries in the game, but like I said, I'm going to be saving that for another video. Not really an iceberg video, but just another video. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Make sure to subscribe so you guys can see more of this type of content if you like that. But peace.